What is good, everybody? AHS Rules back again with another video on here for another Ring of Honor TV review, episode number 64. Now, this episode featured 3 Proving Ground bouts and a couple of other things to make note of, but the most important thing to make note of, it didn't even involve the TV episode, but earlier this week it was announced that Death Before Dishonor will be taking place Friday, July 26th in Arlington, Texas. So we do know when the next Ring of Honor pay-per-view is, and I, at least, don't have to be wondering, when are they going to announce it? They announced it a while in advance, so that is a good thing. That being said, Texas has had several ROH pay-per-views because they had Final Battle the last 2 years. And then even if you want to really go back, Supercard of Honor 2022 was in Texas. So now they'll be adding another one to their collections. But Death Before Dishonor, July 26th. That's a ways away. Like I said, let's get into this episode of ROH TV. This is an enjoyable episode, but I am tired as hell. So I enjoyed it. The first match was a Proving Ground bout. Kyle Fletcher, the television champion, versus Mentello, who they made note that this is somebody that Kenny Omega faced early in his career and that he's been competing for over 20 years. So let's see how he fared in this bout. But we got an immediate running boot by Fletcher, and then Fletcher keeps him grounded for the early portion of this match. Mentello is able to hit a moonsault to the outside and a leg drop back in the ring for a 2 count. Mentello then lands a palm strike, with this is quickly followed up by a big boot, dragon suplex, and brainbuster by Fletcher for a 2 count, and then Fletcher lands a series of running boots and a pile driver to win the bout. And Mentello obviously did not survive the Proving Ground. Next matchup was one I was very excited about for a handful of reasons, but it is the Dark Order's Evil Uno and John Silver, accompanied by Alex Reynolds, versus Satnam Singh and Jay Lethal, accompanied by Sanjay Dutt. Now, I should have fact-checked it, but I feel that I remember things very vividly. So, here we go with this. Again, if somebody really wants to fact check it, they can. But I am 99% sure in the Tony Khan era, the 64 episodes of Ring of Honor television, Jay Lethal has yet to compete in a singles bout in ROH. In my memory, and this is very weird, because I remember all the way back last year, and it was on the road to Supercard of Honor 2023, and Mark Briscoe was going to face Samoa Joe for the television championship. The only time I can remember Jay Lethal appearing was in the road to Supercard of Honor last year, in which he was doing a backstage segment, and then he left and then came back later on to talk to Mark Briscoe and essentially wish him luck in the TV title match. He was also in the very early intro for those shows, but never competed. So almost 64 episodes in the making. Jay Lethal, a former 2-time world champion and 2-time television champion. I'm going to hope that he did not hold them more than those 12 times. But he also obviously held both those championships at the same time. So an ROH legend nonetheless, competing tonight. Lethal and Uno start the match off with Lethal winning out almost immediately. And Silver tags in, and he wants Satnam Singh in the ring. He wants Satnam Singh to tag in, and they both are tagged in, and they both flex off against one another. Singh is able to take care of both members of the Dark Order, including choke slamming Evil Uno. Lethal super kicks Silver and follows it up with a lethal injection, leading to the Jay Lethal Satnam Singh victory. We get a backstage promo from the Iron Savages, and it is another promo. Essentially says they are tired of being passed by and that they will start cutting lines, and they don't really care what the fans think about their recent actions and plans for the future. Another quick match takes place up next. Anna Jay versus Tara Zapp. Anna dominates the match with a spinning heel kick and a gory bomb, but does not go for the pinfall, but instead wins the match via a sleeper hold. Now, this next matchup, I don't really know the best way to talk about it because I still am not 100% sure the whole situation, but would have felt awkward not mentioning it, but it is Rachel Ellering versus Sky Blue. Now, the main thing to note with this was not visible or audible on this episode, but the rumor coming out of the tapings last week is that there's a heckler in the crowd that was just disrespectful and kind of ruined everything for everybody involved. And again, I don't know the full story and whatnot, but that's what came out of this match. But as I just said, none of that is really noticeable on the episode of TV, so I am sorry for the whole situation even taking place and mentioning it, but I thought I should make note. But it is Rachel Ellering versus Sky Blue. It is back and forth early with forearms and kicks from both. Ellering continues with several clotheslines and a suplex for a 2 count. A pop-up spine buster gets a 2 count for Ellering, but Blue is able to push her away to hit the code blue and pick up the victory. As we get a backstage, I would say vignette. It's a vignette and a visible promo from the Spanish Announce Project, who have been feuding with Griff Garrison and Cole Carter for months, and they've mentioned that they've been having a nightmare for months and months, well, mainly from Carter and Garrison, stealing Serpentico's mask and even attacking Angelico's injured knee area. But they calmed themselves down during the portion of this promo to make note that this is not over and that it is about to get ugly. So there's that. Darius Martin and Action Andretti versus John Cruz and Levi Knight. Martin and Knight start the match off, but the only thing of note that Knight does is dance by swiveling his hips. Most of the match is Cruz being double teamed by his opponents, including double drop kicks and double super kicks, and Martin and Andretti win the matchup with a double Alabama slam that they never say what the name of that is. I said it once, I forgot it, so that's why I always just call it a double Alabama slam. As now we get to our last 2 matchups back in the Proving Ground, as this one is the Undisputed Kingdom versus London Lightning and Jason Geiger. I'm going to hope it's Geiger. I thought it said Liger, because my L looked like a G, but it is a G, so it is Geiger. Bennett and Geiger start the match off, with the challengers having a chance early until the Kingdom land a pop-up forearm on Lightning. A Spicoli driver and running knee gets a 2 count, and the Kingdom hit the Rockstar Supernova on Geiger to win the bout. As now our last matchup, again in the Proving Ground, is Athena versus Nicole Matthews. And Matthews has the crowd on her side from her hometown area, and this has Athena flustered early as she has to keep going in and out of the ring. But that changes once Athena lands a massive forearm. Matthews does hit a suplex into a bridge for a close 2 count, but Athena follows this up with a codebreaker off of the second rope and an O-face to win the bout. Then after the matchup, Athena applies a crossface onto Matthews and then is hit with a massive super kick. All you see is a boot pop up into Athena's face. Then we are learned that it is from Queen Aminata, who takes Athena out and ends the episode by looking at the Women's Ring of Honor Championship. So, all in all, like I said, a very enjoyable episode with a lot of noteworthy things happening, so I can't really complain about it. So, hopefully, you got out of your way to watch it. Hopefully, you enjoyed this review. You like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.